Hello and welcome to Bromwood Farm. The muckiest monsters on the farm have to be ducks. They have turned this into this within only 5 days. Now granted, it is super wet at the moment, which means the ground is pretty saturated, so it doesn't take a lot of walking back and forth to muddy it up, but my goodness, ducks just turn everything into a swamp given the chance. They dibble, they dabble, they dibble a little bit more, they shove their beaks in and bring all of the crap to the surface, and they are ruining all of the pasture, and it means the poor chickens have to deal with all the extra mud. So the ducks need to come out of this main poultry coop. Currently they live with the chickens and the turkeys in the pasture flock. And I haven't yet moved the fencing onto this new piece because it would just get absolutely ruined again. So I want to remove the ducks first and then move the poor old chickens onto some better pasture. Now the ducks live quite happily with the rest of the poultry through most of the year when it's dry and they can all waddle around and explore the grass and collect bugs and have fun. But when it gets a bit wetter, they just destroy it because it's in their nature to dibble around in the mud and they reach underneath the soil for bugs, whereas the chickens don't, they scratch on the surface. So that combined just turns everything pretty vile. Well, it's a couple of days later because it got incredibly windy and I couldn't do anything. And I have to admit that I've become a little bit complacent about shutting the Muscovy ducks away. I found a new joy in sitting in my living room and just watching them go about their daily lives, and it's lovely. And they never stray far from the barn, and so far I've never had a predator come to the barn. But we all know it only takes one time, so I must start shutting them away. And part of the problem is this. Great big holes in the fencing, and it's from where I had the pig pens here, and my lady pigs, my sows, were trying to bust in, and so they completely broke the fencing. And so even if I shut the door at the front of the Muscovies, they just all came out the back. And so you can see it's kind of been left a mess. I haven't cleaned it up because the Muscovies just live around the farm. However, I think we need to change that. So I'm redoing this Muscovy pen, and I'm actually going to do it on this side of the barn. So I'll keep these guys in here for 3 or 4 days, just so they know this is where they're fed, this is where they go to sleep, and then I'll start opening the gate and letting them free range with the rest of the ducks. It does mean for the next few nights, my complacency with the predators has to, fingers crossed, not be ruined, because I can't open it up to bring the Muscovies in without risking them running out. So they'll have to be shut in here on their own. And then when they all start going out together, then I can bring everybody in at night, shut them away, and have peace of mind that nobody's going to get eaten. The other duck that I want to shut away is this duck. It's our broody silver appleyard. Now guys, I made a rookie error. I didn't candle her eggs. So she's been sitting 25 days. And I candled her eggs a couple of days ago. They're all infertile. Which makes sense because it's the middle of winter and I haven't seen the ducks mating. But I should have really done it a lot earlier because she's now sat for all this time and nothing's going to hatch. So I need to take her eggs away. But I also don't want her going broody and keep coming back to this nesting spot when the eggs are all gone. So again, I can shut her away now properly without worrying that there's holes that she can escape through, and she can come off her broodiness, hopefully. And we will wait till spring, till there are more ducklings. I'm also not sure why, but all the sheep have come in. I don't know whether Jock rounded them up or whether they just decided to come in, but I was setting up the duck pen and they came in and they're chilled out. What I am going to do, now I've got a barrier here, is I'm going to make this a bit bigger. So I'm going to put the hurdles across here, straw that down, and then they can have a slightly larger area to relax in. And I should say, yes, it's small. They're currently only coming in here at night. The idea, for those of you that are new to the channel, is that they're going to lamb in this area. So I'm just getting them used to coming in, and then the lambing actual area will be a lot bigger. It will come all the way out to here. So it'll be like 3 times the size. But for now, we're just getting them used to coming in, and they came in of their own accord and they look pretty chilled to me. Also, a little update on Demi. Her foot was not getting better, and I was watching a video by Super Serious Farmer. I will link to it in the description. Brilliant channel, brilliant farming channel. And he had a lame cow, and he had the tiniest and tiniest of holes in her hoof. So because it really hadn't improved, I thought, I'm going to jump back in and have another look. And guess what? I found a tiny, tiny, tiny hole in her foot, and the most minuscule amount of pus, but even that much obviously hurt like hell. So she had antibiotics, and now she's totally fine. So it is definitely worth, as I found in this case, just if things aren't improving after 24 hours, 48 hours, hopping in and having another little look. Gosh, isn't that better? From that. And they will not muddy it up. Well, they will muddy it up, but it won't be nearly as quick. Because as you can see, They don't want to kind of scratch and dibble and stick their beaks in. They just want to eat some grass and peck some bugs and have a nice time. Whereas these little blighters want to make everything really messy. They, by the way, are the khaki Campbells, and they are in one of the chicken tractors at night, along with the geese. So they continue to roam around the field, make it a complete mess. But at least now the chickens don't have to contend with the mud. Although I do need to go and get some bark chip, because this is the entrance way. There is a grass mat down here. Don't know if you can see it, but it's covered in mud. But I need to, I'm going to scrape all of that back and put some bark chips down. Hopefully it might keep it a little bit cleaner.